Hey guys, welcome back to Umineko. So on the 10th twilight the journey ends. You reached the Golden Land. You really are diligent, Mariah. You did a good job writing us all down. Ooh, I forget a lot, so I always write things down. Mama told me to. There was a notebook inside the handbag Mariah was always carrying around, and Beatrice's epitaph was copied onto it. Thanks to that, we were all able to challenge a puzzle of the epitaph while walking down this beach. Just got interested, I already tried to solve it several times, and I already gotten bored with it. However, since this is the first for me, I was so excited that I couldn't stop. It really tickled my sense of adventure. Let's start with the first line. Behold the Sweetfish River running through my beloved hometown, your grandfather's hometown again. I heard that before the war, the Ushiromiya family had a mansion near Odawara, which makes you want to know which Sweetfish River flows through Odawara, right? Yeah, because that river would be the starting place. Anyone searching for the Golden Land would head down that and search for the key. What's this river in Odawara? Does it have sweet fish swimming in it? If you're looking for sweet fish at Odawara, it had to be Hayakawa. It's famous for its mountain stream fishing. Ew, I hate fish. Mariah, I understand when you get a bit older. Lick, salty roasted sweet fish. Yummy. Even though we just ate, I'm getting hungry again. Shall I bring you a biscuit? Huh? Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. I don't mind it. She was faithfully keeping us company, so she didn't have any afternoon chores for a while. I would have thought that since she's a servant, accompanying us would force her to take care of us to tire her out, but it didn't seem that be the case for her. On the contrary, she seemed to enjoy joining in on the conversation with people close to her age. When I asked her what she sort of worker whose room and board was supplied by her employer, so normally the only person close to her in age was Jessica. Yes, I can imagine how that might be pretty dull. Okay, so I get the Sweetfish River near Odawara is Hayakawa. In that case, we gotta go down it. Do you find anything if you head down Hayakawa River? If you follow downstream, you'll arrive at the ocean. Of course, you'd reach the mouth of the river, and the third line of the epitaph. As you travel down it, you will see a village. By the way, since long ago, the mouths of the river have been key points in transportation, and large cities tend to be built there. That'd be the next checkpoint. That's a pretty good theory. Just like you guessed, there's an old city there that was very prosperous in ancient times. That's where Odawara Castle is. I think I might have gotten to Odawara Castle on a field trip once. It really was a wonderful castle. Yeah, I also went there. Even though I live in a Western-style house, it's true that Japanese people feel calmer with the Japanese layout. Ew, castles are boring. Theme parks are better. Ew. I see, okay. If you find the gold, the Great Battler Summer on Jersey reserve a whole theme park for a day and let you in and play it. Still Odawara Castle, huh? The hidden gold of Odawara Castle. Oh, it's actually starting to sound pretty good. Ha ha ha. Well, we figured out that much 2 years ago. The village down the river where the sweetfish swam in Odawara. We figured it was probably somewhere near Odawara Castle. The problem is next in line. Okay, let's see where the battler's strange reason could take them. Jessica grinned broadly. She seemed to be implying that she would have solved the puzzle long ago if it was that easy. Damn it, I'll definitely find it and keep it all for myself. The fourth line. Then at village, look for the shore. The two will tell you of. I don't know what it means by two. Anyway, the shore. What does that mean by the shore? No, wait, is there any place there, shore or Kishi in its name? I've heard there's a place called Sugakishi in Odawara. Huh? Wow. You sure know a lot about it. Yeah, what could that mean? Shouldn't solve the riddle and get the gold too? That makes us rivals. It's not like I'm interested in gold. It's just that George someone told me about it before. That's because we reached the same conclusion 2 years ago. We even went to the trouble of laying out a map and looking it up. It was about 5 kilometers north of Odawara. We definitely found a place called Sogakishi there. However, after that we got stuck. The fifth line doesn't say where the key is hidden in that place. Mariah-chan, could you read it for us? Ew, there sleeps the key to the Golden Land. Ew, I could read it. Sogakishi is probably large, though was there ever any house built up there by the Ushiromiya family. Not much we could do to find the key in such a vast area without any hints. You're right, and without the key Eniki, we can't advance to the next line. Josh Eniki, what kind of place is Sogakishi? Let's see, I've never been there, so I don't really know, but according to the map, it's in the mountains. I'm pretty sure it's the base of Mount Asama. Something doesn't feel right. You'd expect a riddle pointing the way to hidden gold to be a bit more exact. I get the feeling that even the part about Sogakishi was a mistake. Well, I think it could be Sogakishi. It could be talking about the some house my grandfather lived in when he was a kid that we don't know about. After all, the first I mentioned his beloved hometown. Shannon, you said grandfather alcohol and lots of stuff sometimes, right? Has he ever talked to you about his past? The master almost never speaks of the past. However, he talks of the Great Kanto earthquake as though it was someone else's story. So it may have been living far away from the Kanto area. The Shirome family had been living in Odawara, but now the branch families work. Grandfather often calls himself a part of the branch family, the least connected to the successor. And that means the beloved hometown might not even be Odawara at all. I never heard anything about grandfather's hometown, and I thought he'd actually tell me if I asked. If the so-called beloved hometown is referring to Ushirome family's roots, then Odawara theory is wrong from the beginning. Of course, this doesn't completely remove the possibility that was Sogakishi. For example, perhaps he lived in Odawara when he was very young, but they moved far away later. I don't understand what you're talking about. Mariah completely left out of the conversation, and now she sat puffing her cheeks in boredom. So basically, if we gave any ground starting for the point for the dice of game gold, we're totally stuck. But wait, after the first 5 lines, just aiming at finding is the key, right? Even if we don't have the key, it's always possible to bust through a door. Can we just keep the first 5 lines and start figuring out the rest? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh wow, we're just wasting time anyway. Let's hear the rest of Battlers. But the next part gets dark really fast. Shan frowned slightly. After looking back at the Mariah's notebook to recall what was written here, yeah, I was forced to agree. On the first twilight, I offered the 6 chose about the key as sacrifices. It sure does get horrible quickly. On the second twilight, it says to tear apart the 2 who are close. Does that mean break them off their loving relationship, or does that mean to literally tear them apart? I don't know, but either way, it's pretty disgusting. Even if we set that second line aside, it mentions 6 people for the first twilight, and 5 people for the 4th through 8th twilights. So at least other people must be sacrificed. Ew. The sacrifice is to provide Beatrice. I see sacrifices to restore the witch. Yeah, that's what I mean. Near the end, which will be revived in the 9th twilight. The last part is guaranteed. In the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive, so everyone will die in the end. And after that, the 12th twilight is the goal line. Not sure how you're supposed to reach the goal line if anyone's dead by then. Depending on how you interpret it, the traveler who holds the key may or may not be included in the none shall be left alive part. But at the end, there's something pretty interesting. After reaching the goal, the witch gives out 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold. The problem is the next one. It says the dead souls will be resurrected, right? Does that sound like MSA when I died in the earlier lines? If you put it like that, the part about reviving lost love might refer to the pair torn apart in the second twilight. That's right. And the 4th one refers to the 9th twilight. The 4th treasure is putting the witch revived on the 9th twilight to sleep. If we put a happy spin on all this, it'll be hectic with people dying and breaking up all over the place, but it'll all be made right in the end. The wicked witch will sleep again. Everything will be like at the start, except with a huge pile of gold. The witch must be pretty busy with all the killing, reviving, breaking up, and reuniting people. Not to mention the wicked of it sleeping. She's just with the tell of the hidden gold was getting interesting and got pretty dubious, which the witch starts showing that. True. I left alone with Jessica. After all, the idea of a witch was just too ridiculous. Of course, once we started laughing like that, Mariah, who believed that no witch, got angry. Ooh, the witch is incredible. She could do anything with magic, even kill, even bring back to life, even give love, even take it. She could fly in the sky, she could become invincible, she could even make gold and bread out of nothing. Ooh. Dang, my bad, we're just joking. She's gonna apologize, sticking to her tongue, but Mariah didn't accept it. She got her notebook back out of my hands and opened into some other pages, trying to prove that the witch existed. Those pages had colorful drawings of witches on them, and well conveyed the fantastical image Mariah had of witches. It wasn't a normal, sinister image of a crooked-nosed hag flying around on a broom, but a dreamlike person with unnatural powers who could do anything and wore a beautiful dress. It was just what you'd expect from an imaginative young girl. Flitting through the sky and crossing the rainbow, dancing around all night with a teacup and a teapot that would never get empty no matter how much food poured out of it. With a flourish of her staff, the stars of the sky would become candy and pour down. and flowers that produce sweets with bud by the roadside. To Mariah, witches were the only concept that could embody the magical dream that so captivated her. And as she grew older, it was the last remaining thing that could give riches to her dull and plain everyday life. That's why Mariah believed in witches. She didn't want that dream of hers to be tarnished. That's why she didn't want anyone to tarnish the epitaph which affirmed her the existence of witches, because witch named Beatrice is Mariah's dream. Mariah trained the epitaph as a guide to hidden gold, but magic to revive the witch, so it was a single link between Mariah and the witch. Mariah was very angry and clung to Georgia and a key. Jessica and I scratched our heads and apologized. It might have been possible to smooth things over again. Like a lot of times, she got mad fed of the portrait. Mariah didn't seem to be willing to easily consoled. Unlike Jessica, who hung our heads wondering what to do, she didn't timidly open her mouth. Or something that you know, there's a ghost story about Beatrice that had been passed down amongst the servants. Yes, that's right, Shane. Tell us about it. Really don't really know, but apparently pretty famous among the servants. What is this? A ghost story? Yes, it seems it's a story from before we were born. I also heard about it from my mother. Yes, it's been passed out since the time of mansion's construction. The servants of that time whispered that the mansion had two masters, one of the day and one of the night. The tale that Shane told was just like the typical campfire ghost story. If there was a forest with a witch living inside it, then of course the witch could come pay that mansion a visit from time to time. At some point, this ghost story naturally sprouted up between the servants. When people do their rounds, the second time to check doors, windows, and locks that are supposedly closed, they find some of them left open. Lights that were supposed to be off or turned on, lights that were supposed to be on went out. Things left lying around would disappear. The things would appear when no one had any memory of putting them there. When any of these things happened, the old servants would say that the witch had visited the mansion invisible and was playing pranks. She existed. Beatrice exists. Yeah, she exists. Long ago, it was always right before leaving for school that I was able to find my bag and stuff. Mariah puffed her chest out with an ooh, as though this was a final proof of the witch's existence. But opened my mouth, Mariah would probably be heard again, so I didn't. I mean, you hear this kind of story everywhere. Depending on the place, they might blame it on a dwarf or an elf. The only difference is that they would call it a witch on this island. Of course, walking around the vast, elegant mansion at night would be a little unsettling. It's an island devoid of people. Since the mansion is so drafty, walking around on the night of the thunderstorm would be certainly eerie. In addition, some servants have also been will-o'-the-wisp with glittering butterflies dancing around. Kennegan also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night, and recently you often hear servants talk about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion near midnight. We've whispered together that the Beatrice Sama in the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. It happened a while ago, but even I have heard footsteps while patrolling that night that resemble these stories. Woo, that's scary. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Beatrice Sama is another ruler of this mansion, separate from the master. There's no need to be unnaturally afraid. If you respect her, I hear she won't do anything bad. However, she can be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right? Correct. I've heard that just before I began working here. Someone who spoke badly about Beatrice Summer fell down the stairs and quit after receiving a large injury to her back. Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice Summer's anger had been brought down upon this person. Ooh, anger would definitely be brought down on Butler and Jessica. Ooh. I'm sorry. I don't want her anger brought down upon me. I apologize, Mariah. Of course, I also apologize to the witch. I'm sorry, Beatrice Summer. Please forgive me that Scottish nonsense. I apologize as well. I'm sorry, Beatrice Summer. With the witch going to forgive us now? Ooh, don't know. Witches are fickle, so they forgive when they want to and don't when they don't. Ooh. That's no good. Mariah tried to sit there some kind of good luck trying to prevent bad luck guiding Jessica Chen from suffering Beatrice Summer's wrath. Maybe something that could block against magic by relying on Mariah, who's probably knowing the most about witches. George was trying to revive her self-esteem. Once again, I'm going to admire his ability to calm kids down. After taking a moment to cross her arms and seriously ponder whether there might be a charm that could save us, she started flipping through the pages in her notebook. I thought it was just a scribbled diary, but there also seemed to be quite a few pages that looked like they come from a book on black magic. Mariah suddenly considered a group of these pages which contained things that looked like magic circles. Apparently, Grandfather was the only one with the black magic hobby. When Mariah finally found what she was looking for, she snapped the notebook shut and threw it into her handbag. She then began fishing through the bag's contents. There seemed to be various jumbled up things in there. After a while, she took out various pieces of junk, although they were probably important magical items to Mariah, and repeatedly threw them back and said they were wrong. It was all a little humorous, just like when Dora and Ma took out the wrong tool. Finally, she seemed to discover what she was looking for. With a face that was unimaginably cheering when compared to the intense expression she had worn until now, she held those out that mean it just got me. Ew. I grabbed this, saw there was a very cheap looking charm. It looked like a bracelet made from a plastic rosary, with a scorpion-themed metal attached. Having ever seen these cheap Zodiac-themed accessories, the kind you might win at a crane game at an arcade, it really looked like something like that. There were two of them, probably one for me and one for Jessica. However, the very fact there were two of them made me feel even more like cheap manufactured goods, making it pretty hard to think of them as magical items. You're giving these to me and Battler? Ew, with these charms you hardly even need to worry about Beatrice, because scorpions have the power to ward off magic. Huh? Really? Didn't know scorpions could do that. Ooh, Battler doesn't believe. Ooh. I said too much, I didn't get Mariah again. Mariah took her notebook out again, putting out the various pages as she went on and on about how scorpions have incredible holy power that have been used in magic, repelling magical circles since ancient times. I've heard that from some of the other young servants about the scorpions drawn as a magic repelling symbol in sorcery. Huh? Really? Ew, the scorpion protects against bad magic and calamity and emerald brain, pieces of the heart. Therefore, its effects are twofold. Ooh. It's true. The scorpion wraps around the emerald and protects it. Yes, it certainly does sound like it'd work well. I really wanted to make fun of those worthless-looking charms, but as I watched her explain with all her heart, she realized that she found them for our sakes. I started to feel like it might actually work, even if it was just a prize from some game center. The material quality of the charm didn't matter. What mattered was the strength of her feelings, even though I don't think it was so much as a sort of loser who left us something like that. Okay, thank you. I apologize to Beatrice Salma, but even if I do end up getting cursed, I'll be safe thanks to Mariah's charm, right, Jessica? Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Mariah. Ooh, wear on your arm when you want your heart to be at peace. Put it in your wallet, your money won't decrease. If you hang out at my doorknob, bad things can't get in. It's a really convenient charm. When an incredible effect, if Mariah must give her a confident seal of approval, then it surely must be reliable. Shannon and Chad clapped their hands together. Mariah stuck out her chest. She was totally in a good mood again. It's probably best if we let her lead the conversation a bit longer, if we'll keep her in such a good mood. Come to think of it, she looked a bit bored when we were getting excited about the go-ahead and go pride because she couldn't keep up. While eating the cookies, came herself with her son half baked, just got and I asked Mariah this night about black magic. Mariah happily chatted away in response to our questions. Each time George indicated Jen and Joe would act surprised or chime in. The clouds in the sky grew darker and darker, but we cousins really enjoyed communicating freely after a year of separation. Did I just feel a jump on my forehead? Huh? I wonder. As George indicated of his forehead, he looked up at the sky. Considering the color of the sky and the depthness of the air, it wouldn't have been an offer of vengeance to hit him. No one else seemed to have grown a bit stronger. Ooh, I didn't feel a drop. Only I didn't. Ooh. Don't worry, neither did I. Anyway, I'm sure all rain so much tonight that I'll feel plenty of raindrops. That's right. Maybe we should get back soon. Shannon looked down at our watch. It was probably well to the evening by now. It's already time for you to return to your work. Yes, thank you very much. While I made enjoy some time together with you all. Talking myself with some thanks for the cookies. Okay, everyone had about the cleanup. Shannon declined our help, saying that this was a servant's job, but picking up a job fork before the waitress has to like is my purpose in life. We folded up the blanket, gathered up the trash, and helped clean everything up. The trash is getting away. Ooh. I won't let it escape. I'll grab it before Mariah does. Ooh, I'll grab it. Ooh. Mariah, don't get your shoes wet. You'll get in trouble. The Mariah chasing into some trash sent by flying by the powerful ones is just another game. By the time we were finished, the wind was blowing pretty strongly. We probably had probably a good time to head back. You've all helped me out a lot. Thank you very much. It looks like you're really out of time. It's okay if you head back first. George and Nikki received from her heard your parents that very little of her free time was left. Again, she sounds very strict about time. If you don't show up where you're supposed to be at the right time, I bet he'll be pissed. We'll see you later. You're best with your work. Yes, then if you will excuse me. After making a respectful bow, Shannon ran towards the rose garden. Okay, let's head back to the guest house. We can watch TVs or something, relax a little. Ooh, I want to watch TV. I want to watch TV. Ooh. When it's decided, let's all head back and watch TV together. Mariah who was done having fun when agreed once television was mentioned. We climbed up the general stairs and returned to the rose garden. The wind had grown very strong. Roses shook throughout the garden like ripples on the water. This might be our last chance to see these beautiful roses. I bet tonight's typhoon ruins them. Those roses might be done in tonight's winds. You're right. Still, I think the roses are pretty lucky. After all, they got to welcome all of you before the typhoon. All the flowers have their petals eventually, but that means you can admire them even more when they're in bloom. That's right, Mariah, burn the sandwich into your eyes. At this moment, they're the best roses of the year. Ooh, burn into the eyes. Right there, Mariah suddenly cupped her hands. It looked like she remembered something. My rose, the typhoon was sent it flying. Ooh, oh, you mean that's that looking rose George Henneke marked with the ribbon? Mariah apparently remembered where the rose was. She ran at full speed. The rest of us followed her. Ooh. Where was that at? Again, I'm sure it was somewhere around here. We searched everywhere around that area, but it was only a single flower among all these roses after all. Even though we knew it was somewhere close by, we weren't able to find it. The winds making up the typhoon's front lines made the roses throughout the garden and undulate. It was almost like he was teasing us by the making of the locations of Mariah's rose impossible to find. Maybe it was in here. Let's try spreading out a bit in our search. Sounds good. Let's go for strength in numbers. What's up, Mariah? As we made the split up and search, Mariah tugged on my jacket with an unhappy face. You could tell that she didn't want us to leave that spot. What is it? What's wrong? Ooh, my rose is here. It's here. But it's actually not right. Maybe it was on the other side of the flower bed. If we all look, we'll find it fast, okay? Ooh, it's here. My rose is here. Look for it. Look for it. Ooh. Mariah stopped her feet in irritation. She pointed at the spot. She said it's definitely there, but in actuality it wasn't. And so Mariah got mad when we said we were going to search elsewhere. We were at loss for what to do. For a while, we had to stay near Mariah and pretend to search through the rose thicket. Ooh, not here, not here, not here, ooh. Maybe she said that it should be here, but it isn't. Mariah came increasingly irritated. Oh man, Mariah's really losing her temper. Sometimes Mariah starts to really care about really pointless stuff. If she gets what she wants, that's okay, but you can't find something that isn't there. That's not good. Just when we were at loss of what to do, Mariah called out in a loud voice. Mama, ooh. We could see Aunt Rosa in that direction. Mariah was waving her hand. Maybe she went to look at the garden one more time before the typhoon came, or maybe she had some business at the guest house. Aunt Rosa was coming from the mansion. She quickly noticed her daughter's voice that came over. Mama, what happened, everyone? Are you looking for something? Look for it. Mama, you look for my rose too. Ooh, your rose. We found an unhealthy rose around here and marked it. We tied a candy wrapper around it, but Mariah, if I remember correctly, it was growing right in front of it and really stood out in it. Unless it grew legs and ran off somewhere, it must have been somewhere else. Maybe you remembered it wrong. Ooh, it's here. It is here. Bella doesn't believe. Ooh. How many times do I have to tell you to stop saying ooh before you'll understand? Mama will look for it, so stay quiet. I never seen Aunt Rosa be anything other than kind of general, so her anger surprised me a bit. Aunt Rosa began searching as well, so she went along with her for the time being. We were already more than sure that it wasn't around here, so it didn't take long for Aunt Rosa to realize that too. The rose isn't here. Did you mistake this place for something else? There's so many roses around. Ooh, they're strong. It's here. Mama doesn't believe. Ooh. I already believed you and looked hard for it, didn't I? But it isn't here. Ooh, it is here. It is here, but it isn't. Ooh. And someone must have ripped it out. Anyway, stop saying ooh. Ooh. Who ripped out my rose? Who did? Give it back. Give it back. Ooh. How should I know? Stop saying ooh. Mariah slapped Mariah's left cheek with their palm. In that instant, Mariah was shocked into silence. Of course, it was only for an instant. I realized that her wish was being rejected. She started yelling even louder. Ooh, my rose, my rose. Ooh. Didn't I tell you to stop that weird habit? That's why all the kids in class make fun of you. Cut it out. Once again, her palm slapped Mariah's cheek. This time she didn't go silent. She choked as she started crying and began to bawl in an increasingly loud voice. Aunt Rose was clearly irritated and lifted her hand once more to try and shut her daughter up. Aunt Rosa, now, she's a little kid. There's no reason to get serious. I tried to cut in with a bitter smile, rubbing my hands together, but Aunt Rosa glared at me with a serious face, and I realized I should say out of this. I'm sorry, but could the rest of you go back to your room for a bit? I need to have a little talk with Mariah. Ooh, nobody believes in my rose, even though it was here. Ooh, look for it. Look for it. Here, it was here. Ooh, but it's not here, so you must confuse this place with someone else, right? Ooh, it is here. It's definitely here. Ooh. Then it disappeared. Give it up. Why? Why did it disappear? Why? Ooh, I don't know that, so stop saying ooh. And Rosa once again raised her hand, overcome by emotion, slapped Mariah's cheek. It was strong enough to knock Mariah over. Hey, Aunt Rosa, even if she is your daughter, violence isn't the answer. I stepped between them to protect Mariah, who was still on the ground crying, ooh. I knew that's an outsider problems between parents and children, none of my business. But I wasn't brought up to just silently observe something like this. Don't you think it's weird, Betlicon? Are there any girls at your school who mutter, ooh? Well, I am in high school, but for an elementary schooler, I think saying ooh is pretty cute. Cute, saying ooh is cute. My careless words would have earned me Aunt Rosa's wrath. She got my call with a terrifying expression. Don't say such nonsense. Do you know how old Mariah is? She's 9. She's a 4th grader, not a kindergartner, but she still makes a sound during class. Don't you get it? Don't you know what they say about this kid when they bully her? Thanks to this weird habit, she still hasn't made a single friend. Don't turn your eyes from reality and carelessly call Mariah cute. There's things more serious with this kid's future. I told you to stop making that sound. Didn't I tell you to stop it? And Rosa struck Mariah's quivering head from which an increasingly unhappy voice was rising. I tried to stop it, but Rosa pushed me away. My back hit George Anarchy. A long time ago, Rosa also thought of it as nothing more than one of Mariah's chance baby words, but now that it's been fixed, even midway through elementary school, she's been worrying about it a lot. How she talks isn't really that big of a deal, right? She'll never make it as an adult if she's like that, so even though it isn't fun to watch, there's a problem between parent and child. Well, even though I get chewed up at my mom all the time because of how I talk, when I put it that way, even as it seems as painful as this is, that's all like we should butt in on. But look, when you were a kid, didn't you have any bad habits that you couldn't fix and you got in trouble? Well, one or two. One parent's day once I kept getting yelled at for everyone, and it was embarrassing as hell. Well, then you can understand how two of them must feel right now. I'm sure they don't want us to be here right now. You know, I said too, don't you, Jessica Chan? I don't think anyone likes to be seen when they're being scolded. Let's go. Well, we return to the guest house. Then after Chan, Mariah came back. We'll welcome her as if nothing happened. That's probably for the best, isn't it? We thought the church etiquette one was probably a reasonable one, and we may have eager to use that reasonable sounding argument as a justification to retreat her from her heart-rending scene. Just got nodded at George Etiquette, and we all left. We all called towards Mariah, telling her that we were going to head to the guest house, but she didn't seem to hear, and we felt sort of guilty and shameless for saying it. In that case, look by yourself as much as you want. Mama doesn't care. Ooh, I'll look for it. I'll look for it by myself, even if Mama doesn't care. Ooh, have it your way. After blessing her with those last few words, Rosa spun on her heels and quickly returned to the mansion. Mariah probably viewed it as a cold gesture meant to injure, but that wasn't Rosa's intention. It was because the hand with which she shook Rosa's cheek was still numb. It was because as she stayed there screaming, she might again be taken over by emotions and continued slapping her daughter's cheek over and over. After Rosa left, Mariah was alone in the rose garden. The wind began to blow stronger and stronger, and every once in a while, a raindrop would fall on her forehead. However, Mariah couldn't leave that place until she found that poor wilting rose. It had definitely been there. Even so, it wasn't. Even though she knew the place and thought it had been there, it wasn't. Mariah barely stared at the place it was supposed to be and thought frantically, maybe the angle I'm looking from is wrong. Maybe the height I'm looking from is wrong. While gazing at a single point, Mariah repeatedly stood up, changed her position, and continued to stare. The wind was getting stronger and stronger, but Mariah kept on looking for that rose in front of the flower bed. Kenzo noticed the sound of the raindrops beating on the window. It seemed to be pouring down thickly. It had begun to rain later than the weather had reported had predicted. Kenzo approached the window as if being summoned by the sound of rain. The sound of the rain is a sound of silence. That sound feels quieter than any silence, and it makes humans remember that in the end, they are alone from the moment they were born, the moment they die. You're late, Beatrice. With those words directed at the rainy sky, there was none to be seen in the direction of Kenzo's gaze. Well then, let us begin our banquet of miracles. This is island has not been cut off from the world. Now there are none who can interrupt my ceremony. There are many fitting sacrifices for you. 4 are my children, 3 of their companions, 4 are my grandchildren, and me and my guests and my servants. You may devour as many as you please. The key of fate will select the sacrifice in accordance as the demons are led. If the relic chooses me, even I will become your sacrifice. However, because of that, because I will bring on such madness, I will most assuredly bring forth a grand miracle. Come, devour to your heart's content. I will achieve victory over that relic. And yes, I'll put everything on that line. First, I'll return the inheritance of the Ishiro Miya family. I'll accept it. He tore the window open, ripped the golden ring off his finger, and forcefully threw it away. At that time, the sound of thunder rang, giving the illusion that the lightning had accepted the rain. And when you are resurrected, surely I will be the one who stands witness. I will survive until the end and watch over you as you awaken. So come, Beatrice, welcome to my banquet. In exchange for all that I've created, show me another miracle just this once. Oh, Beatrice. Wow, what a fucking weirdo. A news ticker popped up on the top of the TV program you were watching. The disaster report told me months will pull till he's all over where continuing saying not rain, flood, and wave warnings. Of course, the raindrops beating harsher in the window were even more convincing. This rain's incredible. Still, when it's raining this hard, it also feels like it might stop at any moment. You wish. They said the typhoon's moving slowly, so it might not be like this all day tomorrow. Anyway, a little bad weather stops the boats from crying, or crumbing, whatever it was. It looks like we won't be able to head out on Sunday after all, just in case. I cleared all outside business from Monday's schedule, and I'm glad I did it. Which means that he looks like we'll get to skip school Monday. Living on the island is starting to sound pretty good. Come to think of it, Jessica, you've got to take a boat to school every day, don't you? What do you do when the boat stops running? Do you stay here home when it rains and show up late when the wind's blowing like King Kamehameha? If the boats don't come, I stay home. So it's as good as it sounds. Usually I'm ordered to study by myself, and that's not fun with someone studying right behind you, watch everything you do. During the rainy season, does the weather ever stay bad for a long time and make you miss a bunch of days in a row? It does happen sometimes. Still, I get a call from my homeroom teacher every single day. Sarah really got me on how I should teach myself and when I had to turn in. She can't skip school as easily as you're imagining in BattlerCon. She's got to follow the rules for people that travel to school by boat and get a good amount of studying done. It'd actually be easier to just go to school. In my own room, I get distracted and can't concentrate. After being made to do nothing but workbooks for several days straight, it's pretty hard to handle all that mental stress. When I get into college, I just really want to get some dorm and quickly say goodbye to this inconvenient island. Okay, by the way, what do you do when the weather's good in the morning, but then it gets so bad on your way home when the boats are closed? Do you spend the night at school? That's actually happens a lot. Because of that, they built some lodging for people who can't get back to the island they live on. That's where you spend the night. Sometimes when it gets really bad, you can't get back home for a few days at a time. Because I'm not commuting to school or work on a train packed to twice its capacity, might carelessly think that commuting by boat would be pretty interesting and fun. But it sounds like it comes with troublesome of its own. You hear thoughtless tourists saying stuff like that all the time. I've had enough of island life. I really want to just graduate high school and say goodbye to this island. But there are all dorm schools even for high school, right? Why do you choose that Nijima school of all places? I want to go to one of those from the beginning, but Mom always going on about how I need to learn manners and discipline as a successor. So I ended up sticking close to home, even for high school. I hate this island. I just want to go live in a city. I don't care if rain or even if spears fall from the sky. It sounds like I moved to the city where I could wear casual clothes and sandals, and even get to a convenience store in less than 5 minutes. I just hold out a little longer, just a little bit more, and you'll graduate high school, right? I can't wait a little longer. Just got searched out and reclined on the sofa. Maybe it was a bit of time slot because there weren't any interesting programs on, and we had nothing to do but guidedly kill time until we were called for dinner. After that episode, Mariah never turned to the cousin's room after all, and Rosa probably took her back to that mansion. It had been pretty boring for Mariah all by herself while the adults had a confusing conversation. Without me, might still head over to the mansion to see her, but the weather's really awful, and since there wasn't much time until dinner, we stayed where we were. After that time, we heard the sound of a humble knock. Jessica answered. Yes, the preparations for dinner are complete. Please come to the mansion. It was Kenkun's voice. Did he hug all the trouble coming from the mansion and strangers to get us? Couldn't he just call us on the telephone? Well, I guess someone's at work don't always get to take the most efficient route. Just when I was getting hungry, let's go. George and Nikki turned off the television and stood up. My stomach's been growling for a while. I've always been a huge fan of the main family's diners. And Gura-san said it was calf steak or something. Oh, I can't wait. Our dinners are always even more fabulous than usual when the family conference comes around. Even I'm looking forward to it. Let's go, let's go. As we left the room, Kenkun bowed silently and respectfully. Okay, let's go. Is it raining pretty nasty out there? Yes, take care not to get your garments wet. After seeing the three of us out, Kenkun peered into the empty room. Was it Mara-sama with you? No, she's not. Was it you with Aunt Rosa? Rosa was lying on a sofa in an empty parlor, having fallen asleep before she knew it. She was bearing a burden that the children couldn't even imagine. That's why she only needed to let her guard down a little before their weariness immediately dragged her into the world of sleep. Relaxed at this, she brought a blanket over to her, and when he tried to spread it over her, her eyes stopped opening as though she was shocked with electricity. Thank you, Genji-san. But she realized that the thing that touched her was just a blanket, and that Genji had been considerately giving it to her. She let out a sigh of relief. Did I wake you? My sincere apologies. No, it's okay. I hadn't planned on sleeping in the first place. What time is it now? When he asked what time, Genji checked the pocket that watch that he took out of his chest pocket. It is slightly after 6. Rosa gave her head a little shake when she realized how much time had actually passed. Even though it felt like she slept for ages. Even though she didn't feel rested at all, the drowsiness that enveloped her must have been pretty deep. Thank you. I'll be fine with the blanket. I must have slept at such a strange time. My sister time must have been completely thrown off. The rain has finally started pouring down in earnest, hasn't it? Rosa finally realized that the peaceful sound that put her to sleep was actually rain. The wind's blowing hard too. I wonder if the typhoon is finally here. That's what they said on TV. The typhoon is moving slowly, so they think it'll be like this all day tomorrow. Really? So our last chance to see that wonderful rose garden must have already passed by. From the window, what you could see of the rose garden was completely blurred by the wind and the rain. Mariah, that's right. What about Mariah? I have not seen her. Does she not return to the guest house? Rosa knew her daughter's nature well, so a chill ran down her spine. Mariah was stubbornly honest. If she was in order to find something that didn't exist, she would look forever and ever, even in the pouring rain. No, the cousins left before I did, so Mariah was alone. Unless someone told her to stop, she'd stay there even if it started raining spears. Without even opening an umbrella, how could I have lost control of my emotions and done such a thing? Even though she'd known that Mariah's simple honesty better than anyone, she once again lost control of her emotions and did something terrible. Mariah! Rosa pushed Genji away and ran down the hall. The outside rain really looked like a typhoon. The rain was pouring down spectacularly. Maybe because of this aspect of the... Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, maybe because of some aspect of terrain, the winds weren't typhoon class, so an umbrella wouldn't be torn out of one's hands. Even so, it certainly was a windy rain. There was no time to admire the roses being drenched. Anyway, I'm getting pretty worried about Mariah. You don't think she's still her ability searching for that rose alone, do you? I don't wonder. Surely she wouldn't do it in this rain, or at least I wish I could believe that. But Mariah Chan sometimes gets really stubborn and tends to straightforward. We hadn't worried much thinking that Aunt Rosa had taken her back to the mansion. However, when Kate couldn't come from the mansion to the cause, I thought Mariah was here. We got a little worried. I did not see her in the mansion, so I was sure she was here. After all, Rosa was taking a nap. You didn't see her on her way over here? My apologies. I opened my umbrella and ran as fast as I could, so I did not pay much attention. If I could cut through the rose garden, taking a short slide between the mansion and the guest house, anyone would just barely miss the place where Mariah had been looking for her rose. And if there were anyone in this hard too, it certainly would have been impossible for Kenkun to fail to notice her. Instead of arguing here, it would be just faster to check it out directly. Aniki, why don't we race over there? Or do you think you can beat me now that you've been growing for 6 years? Okay, let's settle this. And go. George, Aniki, and I flew out the rain. Just Kenkun followed us. Mariah, if you're there, answer me. Mariah. It's Aunt Rosa. Hey, Aunt Rosa. When George Aniki called back, and Aunt Rosa jumped at him and grabbed onto him. Where's Mariah? Isn't she with you? No, we didn't meet it with Mariah Chan after that. Mariah. 6 years ago, Mariah was 3 years old. She was cute and pure kid who just accepted whatever anyone said. But 6 years have passed since then. She's 9 now and experiencing the ups and downs of her life. She should have taught her something. But Mariah, are you telling me that you're as innocent and pure as you used to be? Mariah, as I circled the rose beds and wine, inexplicably turned to face me. Sorry guys. It's a white umbrella. Mariah was crouching down holding a white umbrella and still searching for that rose. Ew, her face, which had turned bright red from her crying, her eyes out, was dirty with mud and water. It was a truly pitiful sight. Mariah, are you still looking? Ew, can't find it. Can't find my rose. Ew, Mariah had probably been there since the rain started pouring down. Her shoulders were freezing. She looked tired to the bone, but fortunately, since she was holding the umbrella, she was completely soaked. The umbrella probably came from the handbag Mariah always carried around. Thank goodness. Seriously, thank goodness. Bat looked on. Thank goodness she found her. Mariah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Rosa threw her umbrella aside and hugged Mariah. Ooh, it's not here. My rose isn't here. Ooh. I'll look for it with you later, okay? Just put it on hold for today, okay? Ooh, put it on hold for today. It looked like Mariah still wasn't able to accept it, but she no longer had enough energy left to resist. She just got kind of caught up with us. I'll have a towel ready and I met you immediately. Mariah, were you here this whole time? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being such a bad mother. Aunt Rosa, why don't we head back to the mansion for the time being? If we stay here, Mariah will catch a cold. You're right, Mariah, let's go. If we don't get you cleaned up, grandfather will be mad. Ew, we're hungry. It's already time to eat. You did a good job holding that, Mariah. Once the weather gets better, we'll all go search together. We could have stayed in the rain forever. We took Mariah with us as we headed back to the mansion. Mariah apparently wasn't as worn as I thought. When she remembered we were having a calf steak for dinner, she started chanting, I'm hungry, ew. Or into her usual spirited self. And Rosa didn't chide, whatever Mariah for saying ew. I see, so she had an umbrella on her. Mariah sure is good at packing her stuff. Ooh, I didn't bring an umbrella, ew. What then? How did you get that umbrella? What umbrella are you holding? Ew, I borrowed it. So Karen first did was I brought her an umbrella. You know, okay, we'll look for a shelter once it started raining, but Mariah was too stubborn to give up so easily. So maybe that Karen must have gave up by telling her to find a shelter and decided to give her at least an umbrella. I see. Now I'll have to think that person. Who was it? Beatrice. The name Mariah truthfully mentioned was that on the switch. Rosa took a deep breath and asked again, trying to do some in a way that wanted to mention Mariah's good mood. Really, that's wonderful. So who was it? Who brought you the umbrella? Beatrice. Mariah immediately realized that her mother didn't believe her and started crying unhappily again. So I stopped pursuing the subject. It'd probably be faster to ask whoever Mariah the umbrella during dinner rather than asking Mariah herself. Father, please at least join us for dinner. I won't be offending comforts otherwise. Along with the dull pounding on the door, a sound of cross intrigue couldn't be heard. However, that voice seemed to be resigned to the fact that nothing I said would be heard. So I want you at least come up for dinner. All your children have gathered here to see your face, haven't they? Silence, Lancho, so this bishop won't work. One move too short. Apparently, Kenzo is completely focused on the final battle of his long-lasting chess match with Lancho. Kenzo's brow was wrinkled as he continued to glare at the game board through the spectacles. Cause his voice couldn't reach his ears. Kenzo, son, I'm hungry myself. Why don't we go down and eat? Go by yourself if that's what you want. Let me consider this next move for a little longer. We are going to finish it tonight. Otherwise, he's doubtful we'll finish before the world ends. Nanjo rose from his seat, hoping this would prompt Kenzo to do the same. And Kenzo's eyes never left the chessboard. He knew well that Kenzo would always display a blind concentration when it comes to chess, but he never seen Kenzo concentrate as hard as this. It was almost as though Kenzo was telling the truth, and there would never be another chance for them to continue their contest today and finish tonight. It seemed that no matter how obstinately he called out to Kenzo, it wouldn't reach the latter's heart. Nanjo gave up and headed down to the door that Cross was still banging on. The door to the study opened. Cross was taking it back, thinking maybe Kenzo was actually coming out. However, Nanjo was the one who appeared, and Cross out a sigh of relief. Dr. Nanjo, his father. I'm sorry I could read a service. Right now, this room is Kenzo's service whole world. Nanjo shook his head with a completely defeated expression. Cross raised his fist once more to bang on the door, shouting, Father, can you hear me? We're heading down now, but please join us at any time if you feel like it. All of his children are waiting for you. His voice was very loud, and he was making a racket pounding the door. There was no way it would reach Kenzo's ears. Well, it certainly was reaching him, but he ignored it anyway. However, along the time had been called down for lunch, he didn't fly into a rage. When our kids always calm at heart, almost as though he had been taken on a philosophical view and turned himself over to a fate. Neither dinner nor the face of a children interests me in the slightest. I will only leave your beaches as resurrected, or if I am chosen as a sacrifice of the key. The demon's roulette has already started spinning. What meaning does dinner have at this point? As though the painfully loud bang on the door completely fell into his hearing, Keith silently thought about his chest movement, still in his philosophical state. Dinner does sound good right now. Just as always, Kinzel's figure couldn't be seen anywhere in the dining hall. Cross was wearing a bitter smile and returned with Nacho. Father says he's still not feeling well. He truly regrets missing this once opportunities to sit together, his gathered family. Eva and Rudolph sniggered. Give Kinzel's personality, there's no way he shows signs of regret. None of his relatives showed any regret at his absence. And why don't we start to get go to begin? Certainly. Only if you allow me, we can go to his store to start the family conference dinner, his biggest time of shut of the whole year. He nodded with broad grin. I asked who lent Mariah an umbrella when Rosa timidly cut through the signs of dining hall. Anyone noticed? An umbrella was about a short while back when I was at Rose Garden when it started raining, and she apparently borrowed a white umbrella from someone. I wanted her to thank them. It wasn't one of us. After we left, we moved to a different room and had a friendly chat the whole time. That's right. Even after that, the siblings had a real friendly chat. They were friendly, felt awkwardly from Hamish lips, so even those who had been present could tell the conversation had been an unpleasant one. At the very least, it could have been me, Eva, son, Rudolph, leadership, Kyrie's son. We were together the whole time, even after Natsuhini's son and Rosa's son laughed the whole time until the meal started. Nisa wanted to stay with Genji's son to call father. At the time, the rest of us were strict to dining hall, so it wasn't one of us. Could it have been his servant kindness to an umbrella? So was Yukota's son? I have it in the kitchen the whole time preparing. My sincere apologies. Dakota looked slightly disappointed about how this message has to show off. At the time, Shan and Kumasawa appeared, pushing a servant cart loaded with hordes of wars. They were about Kumasawa's son and Shan. Yes, has something gone wrong? Because Shan had come in part way, she struck back, mistakenly thinking that the others were searching for someone responsible for some error. Is it like that? And it started around when Mariah was alone in the rose garden. After that, someone who lent her an umbrella. And Rosa said she wanted to thank that person. Ooh, Beatrice. Mariah had her mouth on a thin line, said that was just in a small voice. And Rosa explained the situation one more time. She did. Kumasawa crackled. Oh, it was a nice. Shan and I were preparing the rooms together, so we did not go outside. Yes, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be one of the assistants. Preparing the rooms, what do you mean by that? Because of the rain, we thought it would be troublesome for other guests to return to the guest house, so once you ordered, we prepared the guest rooms outside I mentioned. Really, how thoughtful. Yes, it'd certainly be rude to chase us outside in this rain. Could you give it a rest? Yes, after receiving an order from Madame Kumasawa and San, Kanan-kan, and I would start preparing the rooms. And then it became time for dinner, so Genji-sama ordered Kanan-kan to get to the guest house to summon the children. Yeah, so the Kanan-kan find Mariah on the way to guest house and hand her the umbrella. Ew, wrong. Rosa actually received the umbrella, denied it. Rosa was troubled. All she wanted to do was give a word of thanks to the person who had lent the umbrella, but she couldn't find them. And she thought asking like this, everyone together for dinner will work immediately. And it was you, Natsuhi-san, I'm sorry. After everyone's friendly chat, my headache was so bad that I've been resting in my room. Therefore, I did not go outside. And then who was it? George-kun and the kids? That can't be right. No, it wasn't us. We were watching television at the guest house the whole time. Actually, we thought Mariah had just come back to the mansion with you. The Karen-kan came and asked whether Mariah was with us. That's why we first realized she was in the mansion. If it were me, I would have grabbed her hand, pulled her under the roof before giving her an umbrella. Rose was completely baffled, and one by one the relatives and servants denied that they had done it, even though there was a rumor that anyone would need to hide. So by the process of elimination, the number of remaining candidates wasn't large. Of course, it wasn't me. Right after it began raining, I visited Kinzo-san's room, and I was playing chess with him until just now, which we said was a grandfather. Wait a sec, isn't this starting to get a bit weird? Who's left? And who was it? Genji-san, huh? Wait a second, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm searching for some culprit or anything. All I have to do is whether I think the person who gave Mariah an umbrella in the middle of the rain, who gave an umbrella to a girl loitering in the rain, was to be praised, not hidden. Despite that, no one raised their hand. Why not? Anyone started whispering about how strange this was getting. Calm down, Rosa. Why don't we just ask the person who listed the umbrella? That's what everyone's been thinking since the beginning. They all scratched in their heads as why she didn't just ask for Mariah who had given the umbrella. However, Rosa bit her lower lip. After all, she already knew Mariah would answer if asked. Of course, Rudolph has got it right. Mariah, tell your uncle who lent you an umbrella. Beatrice. The dining hall interrupted silence for an instant, but it was soon interrupted by bursts of laughter. So, see, Beatrice the Rich of the Forest felt pity and lent her an umbrella. Well, a lovely story. Rosa, there you have it. Rosa couldn't believe it. Even though she's supposed to say thanks to the umbrella, what if they don't be so clouded in smoke? Ooh, just like Uncle Cross said, Beatrice let me borrow it. Ooh. Haha, that's damn wonderful. We should all be jealous of such purity. What do you think, everyone? Haha. Cross was laughing with a face that was clearly mocking. Mariah was overjoyed, apparently convinced that her claim was being believed. How did that work? Does that mean it virtually appeared in an umbrella? Jessica asked me in a small voice that wouldn't carry over that Mariah was sitting across from me. Has Mariah ever been the type to make jokes? If I heard that kind of story pop out of my old bastard's mouth, we would just take it out as another joke. However, it was hard to explain it like that way when Mariah said it. This was getting pretty unnerving. No way, she's always been frank and serious. She's the sort who'd believe any joke, even once normal people could instantly tell were lies. I never even heard of her cracking a joke. Even Rosa probably knew that better than anyone. It appeared that because of the situation, she had no idea what was going on anymore. Time Mariah said she's waiting for an umbrella for Beatrice. Does that mean it was really Beatrice? We were talking about Mariah, so I can't think of it as some kind of metaphor or joke. It might be best to take what she has. Blah 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 blah. It might be best to take what she says at face value. Then what's going on? Or you say Geji-san or someone put that fancy dress from the porch and gave Mariah the umbrella. I'm not sure about that. Actually, that's what I wanted to know. Just got shrugged jokingly, but especially didn't completely match your attitude. Once a horse, the divorce were set out and Gooda showed off his vast store of knowledge. The meal began. A couple of chests broke out here and there, but they seemed somehow distant, and the meal ended up being so quiet that you couldn't ignore the sound of the rain sticking into the dining hall. Kuma saw San Shenchen pushing her cart and against Ken on the way back to the kitchen. Oh, it's Geji-san. Did you memorize an umbrella? An umbrella? What are you talking about? Well, I heard that when it started raining, Mariah-sama was alone in the rose garden. It seems she bought an umbrella from someone there, but we don't know who it was. It wasn't me. After all, I actually thought Mariah-sama was in the guest house. When Batler-sama first found her, she was already holding a white umbrella. My apologies, it's not me either. It could actually be the master. Both Anna and Han right here. Everyone has stated that they had done it. Then only Kento, but maybe he went walking down the corridor for some reason when he just happened to see Mariah-sama in the rose garden without an umbrella. The master is not particularly fond of Mariah-sama. I agree. I can't imagine that for Mariah-sama's sake. He'd go all the trouble of just sitting in the stairs with an umbrella. Oh my, how troublesome. Does that mean the one who let Mariah-sama umbrella was really Beatrice-sama? Oh, Kuon-sama just laughed like a relative to the dining hall who just laughed it off. She couldn't think of any other way to break through the smoke veiling the current situation. Just saying a crisp sound of hands clapping twice ran into the hallway. Neil turned around once to see Gooda coming out the dining hall. Okay, everyone, when serving the dinner proper time and while setting up the table is essential, please immediately see the setting of the soup. Geji-san and the women are in the middle of an important job, so please don't get in their way. Kenan glared at Gooda for being rude to Genji, a person Kenan respected. Genji, realizing this, patted Kenan once in his shoulder as a warning. Kenan reluctantly turned away and returned his expression to normal. Obey Gooda's instructions. Hurry and prepare the dinner table. Come on now, there's no time. Don't dawdle, hurry. Gooda grabbed a serving cart from Shen and steadily pushed it towards the kitchen. Please allow us to return to the kitchen. After all, Gooda-san's step was very short. Please excuse me as well. Himasawa and Shannon laughed. Only Genji Kenan remained. Through the window, the darkness of the rainy night could be seen along with the occasional thunderbolt. Genji-sama, did Beatrice-sama really return? I don't know. Shall I inform the master? That's unnecessary. If she truly has returned, she'll eventually appear before the master of her own accord. Furthermore, she's a fickle person. It would be pointless to report to the master when to find she does not appear. I wonder if this means the master ceremony has already begun. Probably. However, that has nothing to do with the furniture like us. We must continue to return to the favor we received from the master until our final moments. Yes, that is furniture's duty. The thunder crashed once more, except for those instants when lightning lit up the sky. Nothing could be seen outside the window but darkness of night. Just as humans rule when the sun is up, those that are not human rule when the sun is down. The darkness of night that now surrounded Rokushima was ruled by another master, not the Ushiramiya family. Yes, the master took pity on Mariah when she was alone and being pummeled by the rain in the rose rose garden and leaning her umbrella. Kenan looked at the rose garden and lights dimly visible beyond the window. The dim lights were enough to illuminate the surrounding area. Looking at the lights feel like making eye contact with the witch, and Kenan forced himself to avert his gaze. If he didn't, feel like his eyes would be absorbed by that light. Can the weather change how people act? You often hear stories about how things like atmospheric pressure can influence people's moods and physical health. For some time now, everyone had been struggling to clear the gloomy atmosphere, but any conversation was cut off, and in the end, the dining hall was simply filled by the sound of rain. The dessert was some kind of chocolate cake accompanied by pear sherbet. Gouda started enthusiastically explaining the recipe as soon as the final dish was presented, but I quickly forgot the details. The guest of honor grandfather was absent, the weather was horrible, and the identity of the one who let Mariah and Umbrella remained as a mystery. When dinner ended, no one felt even one bit refreshed. It was too late now, but I realized painfully that taste was the only important part of a meal. The atmosphere was also critical. Gouda-san supposed conducted his musical piece called Dinner, did his best to enliven the place, dropping little jokes left and right, but apparently not one of them succeeded. After taking orders after dinner, coffee, tea, and orange juice, he left for the kitchen. As soon as he disappeared, Uncle Cross spoke. My, what a waste that the dinner go over so hard to create a smell with such a gloomy atmosphere. Yes, absolutely. It just feels like nothing would taste good today. Oh, I like to know why you feel that way. Later on, all I could do is your older brother to cheer you up. Grandmother grimaced slightly. I'd already heard she was on good terms with Uncle Cross, but it was pretty clear now. When I looked around, I noticed that my father and Aunt Rosa were also grimacing. Apparently, there was something besides the weather trouble in all of them. Both Aunt Eva and my dad aren't looking too happy. Really? I don't think that's so. I asked both, and that's so he was sitting on my right, but she seemed to be in a bad mood as well. She stepped back as if to say she was absolutely not interested. Well, our adult conversation got a little complicated. It's just the kids looking need to worry about Balakan. Is it that right, Nasuhi-san, Kari-san? Uncle Hiroshi left as he spoke, but without his usual brightness. So I could vaguely imagine just how complicated the adult conversation had become. On top of that, even at Nasuhi and Kari's-san, the people who had directed his commentary ignored him as though they hadn't heard anything. I didn't know what kind of conversation they had been having while his kids were away, but it reminded me how Dad said his stomach cramps when he arrived at the mansion. The family conference might have been paid for reunion to us kids, but it was definitely different for the adults. After Uncle Yoshi's comment was ignored by the other adults, and awkwardly silence fell over the room, Kari's son spoke up. We were talking about how the kids' careers would turn out, such as what you lost in your future Butler-kun. Will you just drift on to college? Wouldn't that be a little disheartening as a strange starting line for a long race of life? Hey, wait a sec. As Kari-san, if we start talking about something like that in a meal, it won't be this digestible and it'll end up being constipated. Ha ha ha. That's right. That's right. We were talking about Butler's guns and Jessica Jones' careers. We gotta think seriously about the future. Ha ha ha. Hideyoshi hardly agreed as if they really have been talking about that, but that was probably wrong. Kari-san had been obviously trying to change the subject. However, Kari-san determined that this was the best course of action for now. She probably was right. Taking this into account, I cast aside my suspicions as to the cause behind that Eva and Dad's bad moods. And loud and last, the serving cart returned, filled with coffee and tea. Kumasawa-san served it to everyone. Gouda-san then explained that this concluded tonight's meal. If only would have been a bit more cheery, it might have been the best dinner of my life. It was a shame that this best of dinners could have been had under the best conditions. Ooh, George Energy, is dinner over now? Over? Yes. This dinner is finished. Don't be rude. Stay in your seat. Call me drink up. Ooh. Mariah looked over like she was really excited by casually crushing thunder. When she wanted to quickly finish eating and ran over to the window. She had been fidgeting for a while, but waiting for the meal to end. Some people were afraid of thunder, while others found it interesting, and Mariah was apparently one of the latter sort. Therefore, when she heard from George Zanicki that dinner was over, she smiled broke across her face. She then rose from her seat, took out her handbag, which she had set under the seat, never having left it even while she was eating. She began fishing around inside of it. No one seemed particularly concerned by this behavior. What's that? Where did you get it? George was first to notice it. As she spoke, Butler noticed too. It saw Mariah was holding a beautiful Worcester envelope. In front of the envelope, the Ushiromura family crest on one winged eagle was done in a gold leaf. Furthermore, the fact was sealed dark red wax made it clear that Mariah couldn't have brought as a prank. Mariah, what is that? It seemed that Nasuhi also noticed the strangeness of the envelope Mariah was holding. Her voice sounded too serious for someone admonishing a small child to their relatives around us finally noticed too. What happened, Nasuhi Nisan? What is that? Mariah, where did you pick that up? Mariah, envelope has Kenzo's sons. Well, Anna's reminded that even as kids can understand why anyone says they frozen solid. The envelope that Mariah held was found in the issue room evidently has custom made envelopes for private use. In other words, it could only mean one thing. This envelope contained a message from Kinso. Oh, what kind of envelope is that doing here? And now that I just said they come jumping out at us. Just let me have a peek. Ooh, no way, I'll read it. I always told to read it to everyone. Uncle Hideyoshi tried to snatch the envelope out from Mariah's hand, but she protected it as though hugging it and didn't go. Hideyoshi's like, you can't use force against a child. Mariah, where did you get this envelope? Ooh, I got it from Bitches and she gave me the umbrella. She told me to read it to everyone after the meal was over. I'm the witch's Mimi messenger. Ooh. Messenger, he, the almighty witch of the island, sure likes to mess around. Bella tried to joke about it, but no one laughed. Oh no, so inside of it, Mariah shine. Ooh, couldn't read it. Ooh. Mariah casually opened the envelope. It was sealed with only wax, so she had to remove the sealing wax to open it. That sealing wax fell onto the desk. She hastily picked it up and stared at it fixedly at it. He then sat in the center of the table when Natsuhi, Kairi, and Ninja stood there at it. And pictured in the sealing wax was a one-winged eagle, which was the Ushiramiya family crest and also Kenzo's personal crest. This is the family head's personal crest. I know it was from the letters I received from Kenzo-sama before. Without a doubt, this is his wax seal. But aren't those several things in respect to bearing his crest? For example, if there's some kind of stamp for wax seals, can someone other than Kenzo-san have used it? In all cases, someone always uses ring as a finger, his proof of it, the Ushiramiya family headship when he sealed the wax. The shape and complex design is definitely Kenzo-san's seal. That is not necessary, so anyone in the family must have received a letter from father at least once. We can eliminate the possibility that someone used that wax as a model to create a fake seal and pass themselves off as his father. I agree with Anarchy, no matter what the stories almost died, we can't prove that this is a real thing, so it doesn't prove this envelope came from him. I absolutely agree. I cannot prove the arbitrarily deciding that this letter came from father based solely on the wax seal. Dr. Ninja couldn't use a bit more direction with your vague words. I apologize, it's not my place to speak. One after another, all the siblings from across and downwards rejected Ninja's statement, saying that the envelope Mariah held was unnecessary from Kinzo. They were afraid, they feared in the bottom of their hearts that Kinzo's intentions were written in there, and that might be some announcement regarding the inheritance that would be decidedly unfavorable to them. Mariah, the person who gave you the envelope was the same person like Janabilla, right? Ooh. I don't know what ooh means. Is it true? Ooh. Yes. Ooh. So, in other words, the witch Beatrice gave Mariah an envelope along with the umbrella. Ooh, Mariah nodded forcefully. I agree with my husband. It's dubious letter hand over as a suspicious person. It isn't even worth reading. There's nothing wrong with just reading it, right? Battler said to just go in a small voice trying to act up, but Natsuhi heard him clearly and glared at him with threatening eyes. And then, Beatrice told you to read it after the meal was over, right, Mariah? Ooh. It's okay, everyone. This is envelope that income grandfather, but from Beatrice. Regardless if we actually wrote it, why can't we just hear what's inside before we decide? That's right, even if father didn't necessarily write it, I slept in how it's written inside. Mariah, I'm sorry I tried to take away from me for force earlier. I apologize. So will you read it in a line in front of everyone? Mariah, read it. Ooh. As all the relatives stared fiercely at Mariah, she spread the letter wide open with the rustle. Do you think it really came from Dad? Impossible. Whenever father was announced something to get in the past, he'd always say again if he didn't do it directly correct. I can't believe that he would use such a joke-like approach. That's right, Mariah, Master. That definitely doesn't suit father's taste. Rosa, could this be a Mariah trying to surprise us by being on some kind of show? Mariah isn't really a kid who's capable of being so thoughtful. Gonna read it. Ooh. The words came out of Mariah's mouth before someone reads it, and her voice is a bit different than usual. Anyone is suddenly silent. Welcome to Roku and G-Man, members of the Ushiramiya family. I am Beatrice, the alchemist for this family, employed by Kenzo-sama himself. Oh, that's crazy. Quiet. I have served them for many years in accordance with our contract, but on this day, Kenzo-sama has announced the final suspension of this contract. But therefore, I ask and acknowledge my resignation from the position of the family alchemist from this day forth. How foolish, what nonsense. I can't stand and listen to it. And now there is one part of the contract that he must explain to all present. I, Beatrice, lend Kenzo-sama a vast quantity of gold under certain terms. One of these terms specifies that all the gold is to be returned to me upon the termination of the contract. Furthermore, I am to receive everything of the Ushiramiya family as interest. Ridiculous. It's been ridiculous from the very beginning. So it's basically one of those things, right? It's telling you that one of those contracts with the devil, the contract's expired, so they come to collect the interest. She's trying to grab someone's retirement money for her old age or something. What a cheeky witch. Battler kind of announced it to have him joke around. Battler made a face as if to ask, if I can't make fun of this, what can I make fun of? Some of the adults' faces were pale, while others looked dazed. After hearing this, she made feel as though Kenzo-sama has been savage ruthless. However, Kaiser-sama did append a special clause to the contract so that you would have a chance to preserve your wealth and honor. If and only if that special clause is fulfilled, I will lose my rights to the gold and the interest for all eternity. A special clause? What is it? Special clause. Beatrice retains the right to collect the gold and accumulate interest upon the termination of the contract. However, if someone is able to discover the hidden gold of the contract, Beatrice must abandon these rights for all time. The collection of the interest will proceed shortly, but if one of you fulfills the terms of the special clause, it shall return everything, including the portion that has already been collected. Furthermore, as the first step in the collection of Kaiser-sama's debt, I take a possession of the Ushiromir family head's ring, which signifies the passage of Ushiromir family headship from one individual to another. I ask that you confirm this for yourselves by examining the print of the wax seal. Are they trying to claim that with some meaning behind the seal, that father would replenish his ring is unthinkable? Crossed at the ceiling waxes are trying to burn a hole through it. Eva and Rudolph were doing the same thing over his shoulder. Come and think of it, when we were playing chess, I did have a strange feeling that something was missing from Kenzo-san's finger. Dr. Najo doesn't seem to be so careless just because of our vague memory. We can't prove this authenticity here. Only by asking Father directly we can determine whether he really handed over his ring and whether his last letter tells the truth. That's right. It's just as Kari-san says. Do you really think that Kizo-san will tell you? After all, the person starts sometimes suppressed, but I don't have common sense. No matter what happens, it's still nonsense. In the first place, the illusion of gold itself is one of Father's tricks. I've already heard enough talk of that gold from the rest of you, but this is the witch speaking, right? About how the inheritance and all of the assets will be handed over to the one who finds gold, right? So maybe the Beatrice-sama's father's legal advisor or in charge of his funds. We can't possibly trust someone strange person who entrusts with such a suspicious paper to a child. Aniki, we need you to be frank with us. Is it possible that assets are being managed by someone you don't know? No, it's impossible. As the family's head representative, I control all father's assets. It should be impossible for anyone to do as they please with them without me knowing it. So it's supposed to mean that there are some assets you don't control, right? And it calls me sound how foolish. Such assets cannot possibly exist. Oh, but there is such a thing. That set of fathers that you don't control. There's no way such a thing could exist. No, it does. His father still breaches hidden gold. Let's keep it simple and short. That is some trusted confidante that Aniki doesn't even know about. Furthermore, this person has always been in charge of watching or managing the gold, or it could be that someone in such a rich person who offered him a loan with rules like a devil's contract. Could it be that this confidant called Beatrice is trying to test which of Kinzo's shoulders was trustworthy to be financed by her gold? Harry's question was one of all the siblings wanted to be answered. Upon reflection, they realized that Kenzo's strange epitaph had hung in the hall beneath the witch's portrait for some quite time. It all had been whispered that whoever sold this puzzle would receive everything. No one had ever clearly stated it. It was just something that everyone had hoped might be true. And right here, right now, the thing they hoped for had been clearly stated in Beatrice's letter. It clearly specified that everything of the Ushiromir family would be given to the one who found the gold. Kenzo-sama has already publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold in the epitaph under my portrait. The rules applied equally to all who can read the epitaph. If you can discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Tonight, I'm asking you to enjoy your battle of wits with Kenzo-sama to the fullest. I sincerely pray that this night will be both intellectual and elegant. Beatrice the Golden. Okay, I will be ending the video here, guys, and I will see y'all later.